DarkwingDubb.
What up, everybody? It's your boy DarkwingDubb, and I'm here with another one. Please like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. This is my AFC North post-draft review. Now, I do understand that we have training camp, we have the rookie training camp, we have the mini training camp, we have big time training camp, we have the preseason, and there's still moves to be made within free agency, within the teams, and things like that, right? But this is my review of the AFC North because my favorite team, the Baltimore Ravens, are in the AFC North. So I'm going to do the AFC North. If you guys would like for me to go over another division, comment it in the comment section. I'll look at it and I'll come up with a setup like I got here today. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to look at today, we're going to look at each team. Teams are the Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals, Pittsburgh Steelers, and my Baltimore Ravens. I will be doing a NFL review probably in the preseason. I'll also be doing a college football review right before they start too. I'll probably focus mainly on the SEC because my favorite team, the Texas Longhorns, are in the SEC. But anyway, the Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Baltimore Ravens. What does each team look like? I am going to go on a limb and say that this is probably going to be the most competition in a division for the NFL this year. I believe 3 of the 4 teams have drastically improved, but we'll see. We'll see because I'm not too sold on the Cleveland Browns. But anyway, we're going to jump into it. Speaking of the Cleveland Browns, that is going to be the first team on the docket, the Cleveland Browns. So, what have the Cleveland Browns done this offseason? For you Browns fans, I'm sorry. I just don't see them being any good. They hired the Ravens' old offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, as their head coach. I thought Jim Schwartz would have been good there. I thought Brian Flores would have been good there. But they brought in Todd Monken to run that team. They acquired from the Texans tackle Titus Howard. They lost tackle Cornelius Lucas. Probably didn't really play much, along with the center, who probably really didn't play much. They signed a safety, Daniel Thomas. They signed defensive tackle Davis. They re-signed Julian Okwara, Tevin Jenkins, signed Zion Johnson, guard, signed Quinnen Williams' brother, Quincy Williams, as linebacker. They signed ex-Baltimore Raven wide receiver Tylan Wallace. I don't know how much of a difference he's going to make other than maybe special teams. They signed tight end Jack Stoll and signed fullback post-draft Michael Burton. What are we to expect from the Cleveland Browns? Not much of anything. They drafted, let's look at their draft. They drafted offensive line, Spencer Fano, wide receivers, Casey Concepcion, Denzel Boston, to go along with the receivers they already have, like Jerry Jeudy. They drafted the top safety out of Toledo, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Austin Barber out of Florida, Parker's Brailford out of Alabama, Justin Jefferson, linebacker out of Alabama, Joe Royer out of Cincinnati, another quarterback, Taylor Green, and tight end Carson Ryan. Does Taylor Green make the team? If so, who loses their spot? Quite frankly, I'm probably leaning on Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel to be my 1 and 2 and let Taylor Green and Deshaun Watson fight it out for number 3. Deshaun Watson's best days are behind him. If he could have stayed out of trouble, who knows where he would be at. But we're here now, and I don't see much coming out of Cleveland. They're going to have a good young core with Jerry Jeudy, Isaiah Bond, KC Conception, and Denzel Boston. Are they going to have the offensive line to get it to them? We know what the defense is, especially with that monster by the name of Myles Garrett, the defensive player of the year. You always have a chance when you have Myles Garrett, especially on defense. But the offense, not expecting much from, because it's either going to be Deshaun Watson or one of 3 young quarterbacks. I'm thinking Shedeur Sanders, but we'll see. I have Cleveland finishing last again this season. I don't think Todd Monken is the answer. I think they tried to make a splash hire with Todd Monken, and it's not going to do much of anything. That probably, like I said, it probably should have been either Brian Flores or Jim Schwartz. But they went Todd Monken, and the Browns are going to finish dead last. I said it again. Yes, Browns fans. He is going to have this team finish dead last. I think that's the easiest prediction I'm going to give tonight, is that the Cleveland Browns are going to finish dead last in the AFC North. Coming up next, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals, what did their offseason look like? So they lost Trey Hendrickson to my Baltimore Ravens. They lost Cam Taylor-Britt. They lost Geno Stone to the Bills and Jake Browning to the Buccaneers. They added a bunch of defense. I'm expecting the Cincinnati defense to be a lot better this year. I really am. They traded a first-round pick to the New York Giants for Dexter Lawrence. That's a big-time upgrade that you really needed. They also signed Jonathan Allen. They also signed safety Brian Cook and edge Boye Mafe. I'm expecting this Bengals defense to be really good this year. Well, maybe not really good, but to be good enough to possibly put them in contention for the playoffs. They signed Orlando Brown. They re-signed Joe Flacco and quarterback Josh Johnson. So I really like what they've done defensively. I mean, Dexter Lawrence, Jonathan Allen, and Boye Mafe. And then, in order to get a Dexter Lawrence, you were going to have to give up something big to the New York Giants. And that's exactly what they did. So, no, they didn't have a first-round pick. But why would you need a first-round pick whenever you could get one of the better defensive tackles in the game? So, their draft actually started in the second round. They got pass rush extraordinaire out of Texas A&M. He is going to be a dog. I'm not an A&M fan, but game recognized game. Cassius Howell is going to be a monster. They also drafted cornerback to Carl Davis out of Washington, Connor Lew, center out of Auburn, another wide receiver, Colby Young out of Georgia, another center, Brian Parker out of Duke, tight end. I think this guy right here is going to be the sleeper of their draft class. This guy right here is going to be the sleeper of their draft class. Jack Andrews out of, you got it, Texas. And then defensive tackle Landon Robinson. I mean, I'm telling you, I think the Bengals are going to be highly improved with Al Golden running that defense. And then you still, offense, you still got a nasty offense with Joe Burrow. I probably would have picked up a running back, but that's just me. They have faith in Chase Brown, I guess. But whatever. They got the rookie Cassius Howell to come off the edge. They got Dexter Lawrence, Jonathan Allen to occupy the middle. I'm expecting pretty good things from the Bengals this year, as long as Joe Burrow stays healthy. You keep Joe Burrow healthy. You keep Jamar Chase happy. You keep T. Higgins happy. And you got a good young rookie coming out of Texas to play tight end and Jack Injuries. Hey, only thing you can hope for is the offensive line going to be improved enough to keep Joe Burrow healthy. If not, that Joe Burrow and that offense is going to be in for a long season. I think they signed Orlando Brown because they had no other choice. They really had no other choice but to sign Orlando Brown, but they did. The big question mark for Cincinnati again this year, I think they took good care of the defense in the draft and in the free agency thus far. But the big question is going to be, can you keep Joe Burrow off his ass? You keep Joe Burrow off his ass. Hey, could it be another Super Bowl run for the Cincinnati Bengals? I don't know, but I'm here for it. I'm not a Bengals fan. Of course, I'm a Ravens fan, but it's always fun when the Cincinnati Bengals are good. It really is. Next on the list, we got the reigning AFC North champs, the Pittsburgh Steelers. What did the Pittsburgh Steelers do this offseason? Number one, they started by getting a new head coach. Mike Tomlin leaves. In comes Mike McCarthy. They lost Kenneth Gainwell to the Buccaneers, James Pierre to the Vikings. Jonnu Smith is just released, and Isaac Sumalo, guard, lost to the Cardinals. But they acquired Michael Pittman from the Colts. They signed Jamel Dean. That I'm telling you, Jamel Dean to pair with Joey Porter Jr. They signed Rico Dowdle. That's going to be a dangerous combination with Jaylen Warren, because when Rico Dowdle is going down hills, man, he is tough to stop when he's running downhill. Defensive line, Sebastian Joseph Day, formerly of the Rams. Jaquan Brisker coming over from Chicago. And then Asante Samuel Jr. getting re-signed. They have weapons for days. They are trying to make sure people don't forget about them. How could you though? You know, who's the quarterback going to be? I don't know. Is Aaron Rodgers going to play? How's the offensive line going to hold up? We know the defense is going to be good. That defense is always good. So we know they're going to be good. But, man, getting Michael Pittman Jr. to go on the other side of DK Metcalf, and then you get Rico Dowdle to run downhill, then you shore up your back end by re-signing Asante Samuel Jr., signing Jaquan Brisker and Jamel Dean. Hey, as long as you have TJ Watt and Cam Hayward getting after the quarterback, that back end is going to eat. Defense is never really the problem for Pittsburgh. It's been the offense lately. So what is Mike McCarthy going to bring to this offense? We saw what he did in Dallas. Was it good? I mean, he made the playoff almost every year except for maybe a couple. But is Mike McCarthy the splash hire that Steeler fans were looking for? I don't know. I don't know. I do have a good friend who's a Steeler fan, and he was not happy about it. So, but I like the Michael Pittman Jr. It's just who's going to play quarterback? Is Aaron Rodgers going to play quarterback? Or is it going to go to Mason Rudolph or one of the person that they drafted? Who did they draft? Let's look at this. The Pittsburgh Steelers drafted Max Ian Hotshore out of Arizona State, offensive tackle. Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver, Alabama. I like that. I like that, especially for a slot. I really like that. Drew Aller, quarterback, Penn State. Is he going to play quarterback? Dalen Everett, cornerback. He's probably going to be your nickel back, or he's going to be your fourth down back, or your fourth back DB out of the when the offense spreads you out, he's going to be their fourth DB. Jennings Dunker, offensive tackle, Iowa. Caden Wetson out of Iowa, wide receiver. Riley Nikowski, tight end out of Indiana. Gabriel Rubio, defensive tackle out of Notre Dame. Robert Spears Jennings, safety out of Oklahoma. And running back out of Navy, Eli Heidenreich. So, first off, I want to say shout out to Navy and Eli Heidenreich. As an Army veteran myself, I'm glad you get to live out your dream. I know guys go to college to play pro football, and sometimes they don't get the chance to do it, but you're getting a chance to live your dream and play pro football and at Pittsburgh. So shout out to Eli Heidenreich. I thought Pittsburgh had a pretty good class coming in, just like Cincinnati has a good class. Pittsburgh has a good class coming in. So is Drew Aller going to be the quarterback? Is Mason Rudolph going to play quarterback? Or are they going to talk Aaron Rodgers into coming back? How's that relationship? If Aaron Rodgers comes back, how's that relationship going to be between him and Mike McCarthy? Because the last we heard is that relationship was kind of rocky when they were both in Green Bay. So are they going to be able to coexist? Is the offensive line going to hold up? Because you're going to have a rookie playing tackle, one of the tackle spots. Is the offensive line going to be able to hold up? Defense, defense in Pittsburgh are never an issue. I've said it once and I'll say it again. They are never an issue. Lately, it's been the offense, and it's been quarterback. You had a halfway decent year last year because of the quarterback play, which you got from future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers. Then you got DK Metcalf, and on the other side of DK Metcalf, now you got Michael Pittman. So I don't see, depending on who's playing quarterback, I don't see Pittsburgh taking a step back. I don't. But what are we going to get from their arch rivals, my team, my boys, the Baltimore Ravens? And I'm expecting a lot of improvement from this Baltimore Ravens team, mainly on the defensive side of the ball. They lost Aloha Gilman. Chibadoe Awuzie is gone. DeAndre Hopkins is gone. Kyle Van Noy is gone. Although I hear that they might try to bring him back. Draymond Jones is gone. Patrick Carter moved on. Being Cleveland was Wade. They re-signed John Jenkins and Nick Moore, the long snapper. Now, the reason why I think defense is going to be much improved is because of who they brought in to rush the passer. Now, originally, I was very, very, very excited about having Max Crosby come in, but we all know how that worked out. I'm not going to delve too much in it. But how do you make up for it? You sign the next best option, Trey Hendrickson. You sign Trey Hendrickson, the rush to passer. On the other side, you have Mike Green, and they drafted somebody too. You get a guard, John Simpson. You bring in the Patriots leading interceptor, Jalen Hawkins. You bring in Durham Smythe. You re-sign Tyler Huntley, and you get a couple guys to fill some spots. But here's the thing. Coaching additions. We decided to part ways with John Harbaugh. I think that was needed last season. I felt like John Harbaugh should have been gone last season, and then you could have brought in Ben Johnson, and you see what Ben Johnson has done for Chicago. But instead, they went with Jesse Minter. I'm happy about it. I thought personally who I wanted was Brian Flores. Hard-nosed guy that's not going to take any crap from anybody. I thought Brian Flores was the guy. Came in for 2-3 interviews. But they went with another defensive guy, Jesse Minter. I think this team just needed a new voice. And Zach Orr just wasn't doing it. So you have Jesse Minter coming in. And who do you bring in as a defensive coordinator? Another homegrown guy. Jesse Minter's homegrown. Another homegrown guy, Anthony Weaver. I like this. Because he knows Raven culture, just like Jesse Minter. Your offensive coordinator is the offensive coordinator of Chicago Bears. So you kind of make up for it. Instead of getting Ben Johnson, you take his offensive coordinator, which is Declan Doyle. So what are we looking at for the draft class of the Baltimore Ravens? What is this draft class looking like? Hey, they shored up quite a few things. I'm very happy with what my Baltimore Ravens did. They brought in the best pure guard, Vega Ione. Another young pass rusher, Zion Young. They brought in 2 big body receivers because you got Zay Flowers on one side. You need a big body receiver and somebody that doesn't have a problem going over the middle. Jacoby Lane and Elijah Surratt. You bring a burner to go behind Mark Andrews and Matthew Hibner. You get a cornerback out of Duke, Chandler Rivers. You brought in another do-it-all tight end, Josh Cuevas out of Alabama. Running back Adam Randall. Apparently, Steve Bisciotti made that pick. He was very high on him. You brought in a punter because we lost our punter to the New York Giants. Ryan Eckley, Michigan State. Defensive tackle Rayshawn Benny, and another guard, Evan Ernstein. Let me tell you something. I'm expecting huge improvements out of the Baltimore Ravens. I'm expecting huge improvements out of the Baltimore Ravens. You let Declan Doyle and Lamar Jackson run that offense. You run. You freaking run. Derrick Henry into the ground. You feed your young lions on offense, the ball, throwing the ball. We get Mark Andrews re-involved in the game. Question is going to be offensive line. The same question as the Bengals. How does Roger Rosengarten hold up? How does Roger Rosengarten hold up on the right side, out on the other side of Ronnie Stanley? How does Vega Ione hold up as a guard? Because our guard play was trash, which is why we brought in John Simpson and we drafted 2 of them. One out of Northwestern, the other one, Vega Ione. Who is the center? That is my question. We lost our all-world, all-pro center to the Raiders. Who is going to play center? I'm expecting big improvements on the defense. We brought in a defensive coordinator to run the team in Jesse Minter. We better see improvements on defense. We got to get pass rushers. We got to clog the middle. We got to let our all-world linebackers roam. And then we got to get Kyle Hamilton. We got to make sure he's the focal point of the defense. Kyle Hamilton, when Kyle Hamilton is going, his defense is unstoppable. Which is why I'm happy they brought in Jalen Hawkins. Because then you got Starks on one end, you got Jalen Hawkins, and then you let Kyle Hamilton roam. You let him roam. And then you still have Marlon Humphrey. You still have Nate Wiggins. So I'm expecting a big improvement on the defense. My only question is, how's the offensive line going to hold up? Can we protect Lamar? Can we open up the running lanes for Derrick Henry? Can we give Lamar Jackson enough time to get the ball to the playmakers? Whether if it's Zay Flowers, Jacoby Lane, Elijah Surratt, Devontae Walker. I'm expecting him to take a huge step. Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews. Hey, if any year is going to be the year, it should be here and it should be now. Here and now. The AFC North as a whole, it's going to be the most competitive division in the whole NFL. I get it. The West, the AFC West is going to be good too. I think the NFC East is going to be good again. The NFC North is going to be good. And the NFC West is going to be good. But I think this is going to go back to being the most competitive because I think the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals are all going to be vying for a playoff spot. I think the AFC North will get 2 playoff spots. It's going to be Steelers, Ravens, or Bengals. One of them, 2 of them 3 are going to get into the playoffs. I think the West, depending on whenever Patrick Mahomes comes back from his ACL injury, the West will probably get 2. You'll probably get the Chargers and the Broncos. If that, we don't know how good the Chargers are going to be with them losing their defensive coordinator, but I'm seeing 2 coming out of the North. And if I'm going to go on a limb, I'm going to say if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the Steelers, I think the Ravens and the Steelers both make the playoffs. If Aaron Rodgers is not the quarterback of the Steelers, the Bengals and the Ravens make the playoffs. If all 3 of them play to their capabilities and Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback and they protect Aaron Rodgers, if Joe Burrow stays healthy all year long, Lamar Jackson is back to MVP form, this is by far the most competitive division in all of football. I'll put any amount of money on it. If I'm going to go any direction, I'm going to say Baltimore 1. I'm going to go Baltimore 1, Cincinnati 2, Pittsburgh 3. Cleveland will finish dead last. And yes, y'all can say I picked Baltimore as a homer pick. I don't care. It's my show. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. If y'all want me to do another division, I can set it up. Just let me know what division you want. Put it in the comments what division you want. But until then, your boy DarkwingDubb. Outro. Ravens flock. We back, baby.